God is good. God is great. We give him the praise, the glory, and the honor. I got to tell you, we got a great program for you today.
Gotta unmute yourself.
1, 2, 3, people.
You got to unmute
Let them
yourself.
know speaking from locale is on the air. Somebody break the
Anthony, you gotta mute yourself. It's Anthony. Anthony. Anthony, you gotta mute yourself.
Anthony, Anthony, you got to mute yourself.
I'm hearing a lot of stuff. I'm hearing a lot of stuff.
I just want to say that we have brother
There we go.
Okay,
I'm hearing the echo. Was everybody phones turned down?
Anthony
Oh,
gotta
that's
mute.
probably me.
Anthony's gotta mute his phone.
Yeah, okay.
I'm muted, but I'm just not up.
And I'm still hearing.
There we go.
Just muted it, right? Yeah, because we just now heard it go out. Okay, we're good. All right. Again, I got our brother Fitzgerald. Brother Fitzgerald, Candid Darrell, how you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm feeling great today, Willie Saunders. I'm blessed to be here on the broadcast.
Oh, praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Now, we also have with us our brother Tony. How are you, Tony?
Oh, I'm good. How you doing? You good?
I am blessed. God is good. God is good. And we have a doctor with us. We have our Dr. Ben Johnson. How are you, Dr. Johnson?
I'm doing good. You're looking awfully sharp there, Brother Willie.
Oh, here we go. Hey, we're gonna talk about my pink glasses, huh?
hey, I'm gonna leave that alone. They look good. They look good on you.
Oh, gee, thanks. Thank you so much. But anyway, we have who else do we have? Now we have our guests here in the audience. Listen, we just want to. I think we have our Claudine is with us, and our pastor Valerie. They're all listening in and tune in. Today we have a special guest with us, and we're just here. And listen, we have our brother Gary that's orchestrating and facilitating and making things happen here. The signal goes into over 30 million homes. Did you hear me? I said 30 million homes. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and other places. Also, we're on Facebook. We're also on YouTube. So if you would like to join us live on YouTube, you can go right to Willie Saunders, CFC, and it bring us right up. You can watch us on YouTube for those of you that are listening to us on the radio. Again, I am excited today, and I want all of our contributors and everyone to welcome Elliot.
I feel privileged to be here.
Okay, well, we are just privileged to have you here, and we thank God for you. And again, there's some questions I wanted to ask you, but I wanted to introduce you to Gary also, because he may have some questions he wants to ask. And I know Dr. Johnson has quite a few questions. So
yes,
what we want to do is for you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and you can tell us, how you got here.
I took the subway.
Okay.
My name is Elliot, and a retired real estate person in New York. For many years, I was the chief operating officer of the Brooklyn Navy Yard, which a lot of you know of. Not-for-profit economic development.
Elliot, you have to talk. Elliot, you have to talk into the microphone. You're cutting out there, please.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, you got it? All right.
I am retired now, but I am working on several things. including, I think what Willie wanted to talk about was the project that I'm working on in Lithuania. But I got here because I take the bus into Port Authority from the Hudson Valley like every week, and I heard Willie playing the piano on the mezzanine there, and I loved it, and I walked up there and we met, and then I played the piano, and then we played the piano together, which I
That was
think
good.
which was so much fun.
The Port
That
Authority
was
family,
good.
the piano family, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's excellent.
Oh, no, you're okay. You
Okay.
just
Got a little bit of reverb too.
don't worry, he's good.
Well, so that's who I am. I'm, guess I grew up in Massachusetts, but I've lived in New York for 40 years. Grew up Jewish, but I'm not a religious Jew, but very much into my family's genealogy, which is what led me to the project in Lithuania.
Well, okay. Tell us a little bit about that. You and I we had a discussion. We were talking about some of the culture, some of the history, and we had started talking a little bit about the relationship and how you and I are going to be going to this museum one day.
In the museum in Lithuania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, here's the story. My grandfather emigrated from a town in Lithuania in maybe 1895, Boston. And I never knew my grandfather, but my grandfather told my father a lot about the town that he grew up in and what it was like. He told me, and I started doing genealogy. I knew the name of the town. Then in 1988.
Elliot, please speak into the mic. When you turn away, you
I'm
get cut
sorry.
off. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
No problem.
Got a little bit of an echo too.
Yeah, it does.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
In 1988, I discovered that my grandfather's town was the only town in Eastern Europe that was open for tourism under the Soviets. Soviets still controlled Eastern Europe.
Wow.
And I realized that was because the Lithuanians had built an open-air museum there to show what life was like in the early 1900s in Lithuania. And that's sort of their version of our Colonial Williamsburg Museum or Sturbridge Village. So I decided that if my grandfather's village was the only one open for tourism, then and it was a very beautiful museum. My family Jewish. There was no mention of Jews at the museum in 1988, but that was probably not inaccurate because they were only showing what life was like in rural Lithuania at the time. And Jews in Eastern Europe were typically not farmers. They were merchants and tradespeople. They were even prohibited from owning land. But I went back in 2017 and found that now, in addition to the farm life recreation, there is a recreation of a market town square. Where market towns are where the local farmers would come to sell their food and their goods, and there were tradespeople and merchants who surrounded the market town square, and every Monday and Thursday there was a market. Anyway, when I went to the recreation of the Marketown Square in 2017, there was almost no representation of Jews, but that is inaccurate because the Jews were anywhere from 20 to 70% of the population of those markets. So I'm trying to I'll make a long story short. I made it my business at that point, since this was my grandfather's ancestral village, that I wanted to make sure that the Ministry of Culture in Lithuania was telling an accurate story, and I tried to put together an effort to build a new complementary museum to the existing one that would show an accurate portrayal of market towns with the Christians and Jews living together in those towns and interacting on a day-to-day basis. And there is no museum anywhere in the world that accurately shows those market towns. There are millions of people descended from residents of those market towns in diaspora now, Christians and Jews, and there's nowhere that we can go to see what life was really like, the good and the bad, and it wasn't always good. But in addition to the recreation of the Marketown Museum, we're also establishing a academic/research entity at the museum, which will be a collaboration between Vilnius University and Brandeis University in Massachusetts, that will research the coexistence of those two cultural ethnic groups for 600 years, the good and the bad. What lessons might we learn from that fraught coexistence that might be applied to today's world, where in other places where cultural groups are trying coexisting? And
well, did they purposely leave your history out of that museum?
well, I wouldn't say purposely. First of all, it's a fraught recent history with the Holocaust in that area, and but also the Soviets, as we know, didn't want to recognize religion or ethnicities, and so they downplayed any mention of or ethnicity looking back at history. So the museum was built under the Soviets, and you can kind of understand why they didn't highlight the Jews. Plus, since the Holocaust in 1991 in that area, there are almost no Jews left to protest or to say, "Where's your?"
Yeah.
But things have changed. Lithuania got its independence in 1991. They've been much more open now about.
That's
Well, how is it for Jews now to go, in there, to go back to, I would imagine that's their home, they would call,
A lot of Jews, I would say most of the Jews who can trace their ancestry back to Lithuania or any of those Eastern European countries, it's their ancestors probably left in the 1890s or 1880s, anywhere up to the Holocaust, and so I don't think they consider it their homes. They consider it the place that their ancestors lived, like an Italian going back to Italy, or a black person going to Africa. So I think it's more out of not nostalgia, but wanting to understand their ancestors.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Can I ask the question?
absolutely.
Well, when I look at when I look at what he's saying is even dealing with our culture, there's almost the same blueprint, but ours might go back farther, and everyone seems to forget our culture and what the history we have in music and mathematical science, all that. And we never really hear or know really the truth about our people based on other cultures saying the Greeks and everyone who said that this was their information and things. And when I look at that, that seems like that might be the prototype of someone like ourselves or someone in that particular realm and saying, we need to go back and we need to discover and find out the truth about our people, because everywhere we go, it seems like everything is not told the truth. From Africa, which was Upper Egypt, was called Africa way back in the day, and they never told the truth about our people. So we need to understand how we can do the same, because we never hear about our people and what we have really truly have done to commit to the human race and all the things that we brought. And
I totally agree. And I want to tell you another little story. When I first approached people about this idea, the people at the U.S. Embassy in Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, came to me and said, we think that you should consult with the people at Colonial Williamsburg, the museum in Virginia, because the Colonial Williamsburg Museum, over the last 25 or 30 years, they said, has gone through a very fraught and careful process of accuratizing that museum by portraying the enslaved people as well as the colonialists. And they said that I should go there and consult with the people who went through that process, because maybe there's an analogy between sensitively and accurately portraying the enslaved people at Colonial Williamsburg and introducing the Jews into the museum in Lithuania. And I did. And now one of my advisors is actually a senior curator at Colonial Williamsburg, but I told Willie about my experience of going to Colonial Williamsburg. I had been there when I was a kid with my family, but I went back.
Hello.
And
cut off, Willie.
Sorry?
No, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Yes, I'm going to just cut in here if you don't mind, Elliot. We have a special segment at 3:30, and Willie had asked me to show a 30-second preview of it. So I'm going to show a video of what we have. We have a regular segment by Wheeler Ministries, Dennis Abrams, every 3:30, every Wednesday, every week. It's a video podcast. And what he does, he has a ministry to help men and women that are suffering in addiction, any type of addiction. It could be alcohol, drugs, it could be pornography, it could be anything. So they have a ministry, they help people, they have a very secure 800 number. And he has, every week he's going to invite some different people right here on Willie's show on the Christian Fellowship Council from 3:30 to 3:35, 3:36, a live segment, a video. But I want to just show you this 30-second promo of what it is, and it's going to be coming up at 3:30. So bear with me. Here we go. You can listen to it, but you could also watch it on YouTube. Welcome to the weekly video podcast of Into the Storm Ministries, Finding Freedom in Christ for Those in Addiction, with founder Dennis Abrams in association with Wheeler Missions. Each week, Dennis will deliver a unique message for those struggling with any types of addiction to find true freedom in Christ. Just as the buffalo is the only animal that goes straight into a storm and does not avoid it, IntoTheStormMinistries.org will help addicted people through their own struggles to find freedom in Christ. Please welcome Dennis Abrams. All right, and that's every week at 3:30, and I thought that was really interesting. They used his icon as the buffalo. The buffaloes, when there's a storm coming, they're the only animal that will go straight into the storm rather than run away, which is interesting because, I guess when you go straight into it, you're done with it quicker. So that's their icon, and they use it to say when you're struggling with addiction, go straight into the storm with Wheeler Ministries and Dennis Abrams, and they will bring you out to have freedom in Christ. So join us every week, Wednesday, 3:30 for the 5-minute segment. Thank you, Willie, for letting me do that promo. We'll be back with Dennis in about 6 minutes.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Gary. Elliot, I just wanted I wanted to hear more about, the history and things. But what I guess I wanted to really do is introduce you to the Christian Fellowship Council and introduce you to us and the relationship between Jews, blacks, and in this climate now. How do you see that, and what do you see that could improve that relationship? Not putting you on the spot. Breathe.
Yeah, take it. Inhale, exhale.
I know you got a big black guy sitting next to you.
Be careful, Elliot.
You don't want to fly a plane out there.
Yeah. Oh my God. And you got Dr.
You got Willie on one side, me on the other.
Yeah.
Making the guy nervous.
No, I'm fine. Look, historically, at least in this country, Jews have been liberal side of things, if not socialist and communist historically. And I like to think that Jews have a history of working with blacks to help with civil rights. And my own mother, I grew up in this lily-white suburb of Boston, but my mom helped, 1963, helped put together a program for kids, Roxbury and Belmont, so that the kids could get to know each other and understand each other better. I think that was pretty progressive for 1963. But and then of course there are some Jewish people that I'm ashamed of nowadays. Like I don't want to.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot with that question, because we have quite a few listenership, and we have and there's questions that they would like to ask, and my thing is I like to hear opinions of different people, because me as a black man, I have my opinion, and my history is from my culture, from my community, from where I grew up. And when you see a lot of the things that are happening in the world today, with the police brutality, the homeless situation, and the things, and I'm saying there's some things that we can learn from other groups that can. In fact, me and the doctor had a couple of conversations based on questions to ask. Are you with us, Doctor?
Yes.
I'm going to let him ask the question.
Well,
go ahead.
I mean,
go ahead, Doctor.
I really want to know, like you, Brother Willie was saying, is the blueprint that you guys had is almost it's not almost that we should be trying to look at some of the information, and we went through the same type of situation in our lives, our culture, but we end up not having the success based on we always looking for the government for restoration. When you guys came together as families and stuff and understood that the wealth in the banking systems and things of that nature, we need to understand that. We need to understand that what does it take, and what was the blueprint of how you guys actually did certain things. And that's what I really wanted to know, because if we was leaders, we should have took the time to say, how did you guys get from A to B to C and to D, and whatever the case is. So that's what I really wanted to know.
Well, and there's no simple answer to that. And
Yeah.
And we have about 30 seconds. So before we get to the next sections.
Yeah, Elliot is going to try to run out of here on me because he's got another.
No, but I have a while.
Okay, so you can stay. We got a 5-minute program.
That's
But,
fine.
but I want him to answer that question. I want him to. I know it's no easy question.
Well, Ben, do me a favor. Ask the
Yes, sir.
question after the 5-minute segment, because we're going to come on now.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much. So we are.
he's got the question. He's got the question, and he's going to have his answer. He's going to stick with us for the 5 minutes. He's going to look at this program that's coming up. So right now we're going to turn it right over to Gary. He's going to take us up to.
We're ready now, Billy. Willie. Okay, so listen. I just want to say that we're here with Wheeler Ministries and Dennis Abrams, and I'm going to show you his weekly message about addiction. And here we go. I'm going to show it right now. Thank you, and listen to this because it's pretty interesting stuff.
Yes, sir.
Well, there we go.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Abrams from Into the Store Ministry. Just wanted to talk a little bit about what I do this week and kind of explain some opportunities for people that are struggling with addiction of all types. I work at Wheeler Mission. It's a homeless ministry that's been around for 128 years. The addiction part of the program has been around for about 22 years. Later this month, we'll be celebrating our 22nd anniversary. And so what we do is we allow men to come into the program with legal backgrounds. We can't have any sex offenders or violent offenders, but we accept everybody. And that could be a guy that's at his home struggling. That could be a man that's just coming out of jail, off of parole. We work with the legal system extensively. We actually have men that are sentenced to us from local counties and everything. And if they complete the program and everything else, then they're able to go back and share their success. And not only that, but what God's done in their lives, more importantly. So this is a faith-based program. We're not going to be looking at addiction as a disease model. We're going to be looking at it as a sin and choice. There's always things that lead to those choices, and we're going to kind of unpack that in their lives, help them, guide them through those hard times, making sure that they understand that the goal of this program is not conversion to Christianity. The goal of this program is to give them opportunities to learn new ways to overcome addiction in community, and having people that they can lean on and trust and talk to. And so often community is the most vital part of this. Our greatest success stories come from guys that have gotten connected with churches afterwards. Somebody says, well, what happens if they relapse? Well, that's an opportunity for learning and growth. We always say it's not a matter of if you relapse, but when you relapse. And what do you do from that? What do you learn? What was going on up to that point? Were you going to Bible study? Were you going to church? Were you isolating? Different factors that have basically plagued their life up until this point. So we'll take guys anywhere from 18 to 80 or older if need be. But 18 is the oldest. We can't take any minors or anything. How the program's laid out is it's interesting. We have a initial phase of 6 to 8 weeks. In that initial phase, we basically do an orientation phase where the guys are coming in. We try to get their legal, their medical, and just their life back in order. And it could be as simple as making beds and having a routine instead of drinking and doing drugs right off the bat. We're a smoke-free environment, which turns a lot of people off. But you'll see some pictures later on the video, and you saw a few beforehand. of our grounds. We're on 285 acres, have all the natural wildlife that you can imagine. But the coolest thing about this place is when you drive onto the property, you can feel the Holy Spirit. It's definitely grounded. This program and this property has been blessed by God. See His fingerprints all over it. So we don't require anything from the guys as far as they have to do this, that, or other. We have a contract they go through, they sign it. It's basically taking care of your stuff, taking care of other people, treating them the way you want to be treated, and being open-minded. Open-minded to the gospel, teachable, where there's not a remark or some kind of comeback whenever somebody says something to correct you, is to take it and learn from it. And then after that orientation phase, we have 6 months where they're here and they're into the Bible. We do a series called Behold Your God. They do that Bible study with one another in small classroom settings. We have individual counseling. We have group counseling. We have guest speakers as far as from churches and different places, different Bible studies. And the biggest thing here is not, we say this and we mean it, but it's hard to explain, is our currency is not money here. Our program is completely free for the entire time they're here. We don't charge the guys anything at all. And the cool thing about it is our currency is relationships. Our currency is sharing the struggles that we've overcome and went through. Mine was pornography and lust. Some of the other guys is alcohol, some is cocaine, some we kind of have an expert in every field in one way that God's kind of assembled this team down here. But we just want the guys to be disconnected from the world and the temptations and everything and just take some time to really get to know themselves and God. And if you know of anybody that's needing a program, I'll post a number here on the video later on, but the telephone number for our intake is 317-750-1471. And looking forward to talking to you next week. Remember, Into the Storm Ministry, the website .org, intothestormministry.org. Remember the podcast, I'll have a new one out tomorrow afternoon or Thursday morning. And just thank you for your time, and God bless you all.
God bless you.
Okay, so the action intake number is 317-750-1471. If you're tired of being addicted and you want help, this is the number to call. Give them a call. Everything is done humbly and securely. 317-750-1471. Willie, thank you for letting us share that weekly session. I think it's really valuable for everybody to, if they're in addiction, to get free. But let's go back to our regular program. Thank you, Elliot. Go ahead, Willie. It's all yours. I'm going to make you the host now.
I am excited, and it's always great to have a place where you can go because we get so many different people that have different issues. We have homeless people. We have people that have addictions and situations, and you have to have some place where you can send people. It's one thing good to talk to them on the street and talk about God and give them a little inspiration and make them feel good. But it's another thing to be able to say, here's a telephone number, here's an address. We have so many people that we had a group here from Helping Hands about 3 weeks ago, and they have taken over 50,000 people off the streets, homeless people. And so it's great to have these type of programs, these type of missions where they don't charge for intake. So I just thank God for it, and we're going to be doing a lot more and things with Dennis and the program.
So Willie, I'm going to get going, but I just want you to recognize Claudine and Valerie. Valerie, we can't see you, but they've joined us, so you can just acknowledge them. They're on the YouTube. And,
Amen.
Hello, Sister
Hello,
Claudine,
hello, Gary and everyone.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Pastor. How are you? We can't see you, Pastor, but we can see Claudine. So just hit your video so that our listeners and our viewers can see you.
Good to hear from you.
Okay,
Absolutely.
it's good to speak with everyone as well.
Same here.
Still can't see you.
There you go.
Wait, no, that's
Yes.
not her. That's Claudine.
I see Claudine.
Okay, that's not. But anyway, Pastor, it's just
Hello.
good to have you along with us. And we were just talking, and we were talking with Elliot. He's our guest for today, and he's a friend of mine. He's an accomplished pianist. I mean, he can play and he can sing. And so him and I met a while back. We had so much fun. Why you laugh?
Because I can't sing.
Well, what were you doing, you and I, sitting at the piano? If I remember...
You asked me to hum the melody, I think.
Oh.
That I could do.
you got to hear him play. I mean, he can play the songs, it's just amazing, the talent that he has.
And Willie has the talent, too. Willie has an ear, but he doesn't know it. He was born with that gift.
Wow.
And
Ear for music?
yes.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, definitely.
yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think he could probably sing, too.
Definitely.
I've never heard him.
No, I don't sing. Okay. Listen, we're going to be going back to our program. The first question, Pastor, I'm sorry, Dr. Johnson asked a question. Pastor, I'm glad you're here. You might can chime in on some of the conversation.
But
we have Elliot here, and he's just giving us a little briefing on how the Jewish community has come to America and has excelled so well into the stratosphere, while the African American community has not done so well. So good, and so he's just telling us a little bit about. He's here, so I'll let him finish the question.
Okay, finish that question, sir.
Well, why don't you give it the question again?
The question is, when he said that's a broad statement, I want to ask him, what do you think, as far as yourself, as far as what your intellect is, and what you think that might be needed for us just to start? Because I might have said a broad question in itself, because you said that was hard to answer. So I just want to know what you really think, what we should do as a community or a culture to just start off to understand the things that you guys have done with dealing with wealth, banking systems, and things of that nature.
Or what did they do? Maybe if he starts from what did they do, we could pick up from that.
Okay.
Well, I want to first of all say I'm not an expert on Jewish history. I'm just a guy,
Yeah, we can't put the pressure on you.
But I will say that you have, some of what you say is a stereotype, like other stereotypes. Not all Jews are rich, and you go back to Europe, and that is a trope that was used against Jews. Yes, there were the Rothschilds and a few wealthy families, but the millions of people who lived in Eastern Europe lived in poverty. In Western Europe, some of the Jews were middle class, but it's not like everybody was rich. And your question about what, if I'm correctly understanding the question, is there a key success factor that influenced the Jews when they came to the United States as immigrants? The only thing I can think of is that education has always been a very important part of Jewish culture. And, my grandfather came here impoverished with nothing in his pocket, and the only thing he was qualified to do was to become a peddler, which he did. He, went from house to house on the North Shore of Boston selling clothing and whatever the people needed. He didn't have an education. And so many Jews started that way when they came here with nothing. And because they weren't welcome, you understand that they weren't welcome in lots of parts of the world, and all they could do was to become the peddlers and the business people and stuff.
But Elliot, I know that, and that's probably a wide range question. That's really crazy to try and attack. But
Yes.
In your opinion, you see what's happening. You see what's around. You see what's going on in terms of. So I'm just trying to not put you on the spot, but of course you may have an opinion towards something. You might say, "Wow, they, I see this happening, and this is available, or that's available. This is, look like they could do this, or they could do that, or that, in order to, because." There's a real bad homeless situation in the country, and you have homeless whites, homeless blacks too, but the majority are blacks, and that I've seen and that I know of, and we make up such a small population of the country, and to have a large number of homelessness is just saying that something is wrong. Something is going on wrong. And I don't know if you have an opinion on it or not, what you could see or what you would say that could be done, or you say, I know you won't say this, but if I was black, I'd do this, If I was black, why don't they do this? Or why don't I, and not
You're right,
putting
I would never say
So, yeah, but I just want you to feel easy, and I'm not putting you, listen,
Yes.
Elliot and I are friends, and
Yes.
I didn't, he said, wow, Will, you tricked me as a friend to get me here, and now you ask me all these.
I didn't mean to ask you
questions.
I'm between two
I'm sorry.
guys,
and white, and Jewish,
and he has to get past me to get to the door, so it's like...
Sorry
No
about
threat.
that. I'm
but
sorry.
that did work out for years.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
Elliot, you mentioned something which it is pretty much similar to what we believe is important. As someone that comes to America as well, I'm from the Caribbean, and it's a third world country. And one of the things that we value most, and this is something that my parents, they didn't have much or anything like that. So of course, like the Jews, they were the ones they started a business. My dad had a grocery store. My mom, she had a cook shop. And so these things, but they didn't want that for us. I am not doing that now. I have 2 masters. I am going to do my doctorate, all of these things, because they did not want that for us. Was that the same transition that the Jewish used to get to where they want? Because my dad eventually get real estate, did an apartment, rented that out, and people look at us as being wealthy and being whatever, but it's just that we're struggling and going through. It's just that they knew where they were coming from and knew that they had to work hard for it, and they didn't want that for us. Was that kind of the transition? Is that kind of the tool that you use?
Yes, exactly. I think I like I said, I didn't know my grandparents, unfortunately. I did know older relatives who would always say, we don't want our children to have to struggle the way we struggled. And I'm sure when they thought back to their lives in Europe, which they left voluntarily, unlike your ancestors, they again said, we were impoverished, and we don't want that for our children and our. But like I said, Jews weren't necessarily treated well in Eastern Europe, but they weren't forced to come here like your ancestors were. And I understand what a struggle. I wanted to say, with respect to the introduction of the portrayal of enslaved people in Colonial Williamsburg, when I went there a couple of years ago, for myself, that portrayal, I mentioned this to you. I was so emotionally moved by interpreter that I met there, who was playing the role of a real person who had been on a slave ship from Africa, child, and eventually became freed and opened a barber shop in Williamsburg. And, you know, in these open-air museums, the people interact with the visitors. So there were a bunch of us in the barber shop listening to him, speaking with him. He told us his story, and we were able to ask him questions and stuff. And by the end of our interaction, everybody in the room was in tears, and so was he, the actor. It was, in my opinion, the most moving exhibit that have been there, and I encourage everyone to go to see the way that they have been portrayed, that enslaved people in Williamsburg. You know, and to have been forced as a child onto a slave ship with all these, you know, it's not an analogous situation to my ancestors who came here. I may be saying things that are, I don't know what I'm.
Oh no,
completely.
We understand. We understand,
I
and
know
you
I
know
gotta
what?
say something based on what,
None of us. I can speak for myself. We don't hold any of this against you or against anyone related, any Jews or anything like that, because that was our story. That was how we got here. But the good thing is this: we have come a long way. And to actually be sitting here having this conversation, this could not happen back then. Okay, so we have come a long way, and
we have.
That we give God thanks and we give him the glory and the praise, because we can see that he has been in everything that has happened up until this moment. And for that, I'm extremely grateful for. So don't take on all that burden. We're not sending on anything.
No.
It's only love. We only giving you love, only love. And I understand. Yes.
Thank you. But someone had mentioned something before. I'm thinking now, just like I said to a friend back in 2017, I wish there was some Eastern European town that had somehow escaped modernization that I could visit to see how my ancestors lived in Europe. Is there an equivalent place that you can go to anywhere where you can see and get immersed in your ancestors' lives, whether it be in Africa or in the United States? And maybe Colonial Williamsburg is an example of a place like that, but I would think that you would want your children to be able to understand what your ancestors' life was like in Africa. And I don't know, is there such a place that you can go? Like the equivalent of this museum that we're trying to build in?
There's some museums and some, but it is a big disconnect. But there are places in to museums around the world, the country. New York alone,
yes.
I don't know of any that I think what the Jews are trying to do, because you know what, history is what builds. History is what it is that propels us to our purpose, like you talk about in Coach Up yesterday, right? It is that foundation that gives us that drive, that tenacity to want change, to want better. And I think that's what we are missing. I think that's where we're missing that, because even the history that's taught in school is not necessarily the entire thing, but so to get back to that, so that our children can really see the foundation and then embrace it and use it as an empowerment to move forward that I believe is really good. And maybe that's where we can start. Maybe that's where we can start, come together as a people to try and do something similar like you are doing, the Jews are doing, in order to preserve that. Not because it's not for, we're not using it for strive and envy and all of that, but just use it for empowerment, use it for the fact that this is a foundation where we're coming from, and look where we have evolved to. It's an appreciation and something that we can use to move forward. I think that's a good thing.
And I wanted to just throw in another thing. One of the, I don't have funding for this museum yet, so it's not like people are coming out of the woodwork to, it's going to cost a lot of money to do this, and I'm terrible at fundraising. But one of the taglines that I've used in discussing this new museum with people is that there was the Holocaust, and a lot of Holocaust awareness now. But one of my lines is that there are now many worthy places to go to in Eastern Europe, see how people died, nowhere to go to see how they lived.
Amen.
And
Amen.
Maybe, and I'm talk about addiction. I'm a Holocaust addict. For some reason I want to learn so much about the Holocaust, but I also, there have to be places to go to see how people lived before the Holocaust, good and the bad. And I have to imagine that for you, and even for me, I would like to go to a place where to see how your ancestors lived. Exactly.
There are African American museums and things like that around the country.
Yeah, but the place she was telling me about, it was the place she was saying where this guy comes out, a guy
in Williamsburg.
It's Williamsburg, right?
Yeah, Colonial Williamsburg Museum in Virginia.
Oh.
And he's not the only. I mean, they've really incorporated African American and enslaved people's history into that museum in a much larger way. I didn't see everything. I saw a little piece of it.
But it's a good thing that you're doing. Like Claudette said, once you have an ideal and your goal is, now your mind is going to find all the information that you need. You always was a Holocaust. Now you set a goal and watch the subconscious mind, which is a genius I always talk about. You're going to gather the information up. You're going to also pursue it with passion, and other people going to come out of nowhere, because now that you got that ideal out there, you sowing that seed. Watch everything come to fruition, because now you start the ball rolling, and that's how you set a goal. And now you're going to see what God going to do, because now you initiated that. So that in itself I'm learning from, because again, you set that into motion, and it wasn't significant until you start doing that part. Now the other part's going to come together. Most definitely.
Yeah. And you don't have the fundraising skill, but your dream is tied into somebody else's who have that
That's
skill.
right.
And
That's
that
right.
person will find you, and that person's dream will become a reality. But that's how it works, because your dream is so powerful that it pulls in all the other people for their dream to come true.
Yes, all the resources will come.
Yes.
Connecting to your past, And I also wanted to say some things. I don't know if we have some time, but you have to go to commercial or anything. Okay, I'll say it when we
go ahead. No, go ahead. You can start.
I just wanted to say, being a black man, being a black male, and who lives in Brooklyn, who lives in New York, and New York has different communities. I live in a primarily a lot of Caribbean, a lot of Russian Jews, a lot of Hasidic Jews, and the Hasidic Jews in my particular community in Williamsburg area, Bed-Stuy area, in different areas, they stick together. And if you talk to some of those people, they actually admit that they take advantage of the welfare system. They do stick together, but some of those Hasidics, they live in poverty. Maybe not the same exact poverty as black people do, or some black people do, but they do take advantage of what's around them and different opportunities that are available to them. And not all of them are rich. And by no means am I trying to excuse anything or trying to say that they're in some kind of poverty and on them, because it wasn't. But they don't all live the same, and it's different. But if you actually talk to them, they'll tell you like some of the history of some of my own of black people and the original Jews. I believe that we are like Ethiopian Jews and black Jews, from Africa.
Well, here, I'm sorry, I'm not going to cut you off.
Okay.
But, we just got a minute. We're going to go to the top of the hour.
Okay.
But we shall be back right after these commercials, and we're going to continue to pick Elliot's brain.
Okay.
I'll continue my
comments.
Elliot,
Come
tell
back
us.
A little bit later too.
Tell us,
right
Elliot. Tell us. It's all good, Elliot. We enjoy your company.
We'll be right back after these commercials.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident, or injured at work, you have rights.
Yeah, we get back. Yeah, no, it's just
for your
after
suffering.
this
Don't
station,
accept an offer
so
you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident, or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
I don't have
800-796-1182. 800-796-1182.
I got like
800-796-1182. That's 800-796-1182.
maybe I should do it on the air.
Attention seniors on Medicare and Medicaid or receiving extra help for your prescription drugs. We have great news. You can change or enroll into a Medicare plan every 3 months if you qualify, all from the comfort and safety of your own home, over the phone. No one even needs to come to your home. And in minutes, we'll tell you all about some additional new Medicare benefits for you, like dental, vision, hearing, transportation, and more. Call us. We'll explain all your new Medicare benefits. Premiums are as low as $0 per month. Even if you're not paying anything for your coverage now, you need to call our licensed agents to review your plan. There are zero-cost plans available in some areas. Don't wait till next year. Get all the Medicare benefits you deserve. Call a licensed agent today.
800-430-6748. 800-430-6748. That's 800-430-6748. Paid for by Senior Choice Plans. Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not know what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. 800-492-4190. 800-492-4190. That's 800-492-4190.
That's not doing anything. Okay, we are back, and we are going to go
right back to Brother Anthony. He was making a statement or telling us a little bit of place where he lives, or telling us lazy and we need to get off our rusty dusty.
No, not at all, not at all. It's just that and I think I might be able to say some things that some white people that I've encountered maybe want to say, or can't say, or fear to say, because I've actually heard people say, well, why can't black people do this, and why can't, because we do this? And I understand. To a degree, we have things shooting against us, and we have obstacles. Race, that white person might be able to clearly just run right down the street. Well, we have other things that we have to, like hurdles and jump over. At the same time, we can't, like we were just, me and Brother Willie been talking about, can't use it as a crutch. I'm black. That's not always. Sometimes it's just laziness amongst some black people. A lot of people aren't like that. But like I was trying to make trying to talk about where I live. I live in Brooklyn. I lived there for a long time, and I've at times, when I went to go get benefits, or as a younger person, I go into like the welfare. Not because I necessarily had to, but I took advantage of some of the things that helped me out. I would see some Hasidic Jews in there, full families, and some of them I knew had $1 million homes, brownstones. But some of them, and their wives would get the benefits for themselves while their husbands would work. Now, not all of them were well off, and they're all parts of Brooklyn. You'll see poverty. You'll see it. It looks like the equivalent to if you were to go to some areas and you saw like projects of black people, and you say, wow, that looks kind of like some of the places that I've been or I've seen or I've maybe even lived, but overall, now they do have that protection because they are in that Hasidic community or other communities, other Jewish communities. But you can't, use that as a crutch and say, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. You have to, I agree with, just my own thoughts and some other people of other cultures that you have to pull yourself up to a degree by your own bootstraps. You can't just be like, well, I can't do this and I can't do that because of where I come from. As many other people, what about the billionaires and millionaires who have made it, and some people just use it as a crutch to I can't do this and I can't do that. Of course, like I said before, we do have things against us, but those are things that we just have to get around, and you can't always just look at. And some of those Hasidic Jews also are Russian Jews, and they come from other countries, and they get political and cultural benefits to themselves when they come here. And it's a whole history to that as well, but living there and seeing that and just, you see these differences and stuff like that. But in no way am I trying to excuse them and say that they're much better than us or something like that or whatever. But even if you talk to some of them.
Here's the thing, and I'm just throwing this out to Elliot. Two things that and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Did the United States give reparation to some Jews or to the Jewish people that came over here that were for the Holocaust?
I mean, people who were fleeing the Holocaust?
Yes.
I don't think there were any reparations. I think that there were. Matter of fact, a lot of people criticized the United States for not opening up the doors to more people during the Holocaust, but get in. No, I don't think there were any reparations.
Right. Well, I'm not sure. I
have heard.
thought it was reparations for Jews, and it was reparations for Japanese. Was it Japanese?
But I thought
Japanese were put in internment camps.
I have heard that they have received favoritism when they came over, like on Ellis Island on the boats. And like, if you go to Ellis Island, I've been there, and how they show like Polish and Dutch and everybody else. They don't really show a lot of black. There was a lot of black people that came over on Ellis Island. Well, and for the work purposes, they did overshadow some of the blacks who were already here and gave those jobs to.
But that thing,
in some cases, yeah.
But I think it was more like loans from banks and stuff to start their business. Yeah. They have access. They had access to getting money to start things to get themselves started. That's what I had heard, that they had, money.
Favoritism too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. See, I think this conversation is a little bit over my head because I don't have my facts.
I don't think there were any government programs. No. Maybe someone knew a friend who worked at a bank and they got a loan. But after the Holocaust, many Jews who survivors were paid reparations not by the Americans but by the Germans.
Okay.
You also
Okay,
did have, if
but
you go
now-
back and look at some of the this one movie, what was the one that Leonardo DiCaprio was in? Kind of talks about like poison.
Titanic?
No, I'm not that one. Different one, yeah.
That I remember.
It was something of New York, but it talks about how when they came over, they formed these unions and literal gangs. And
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
about. Like mafia. You know?
Yeah,
The gangs of New York, I think it was.
Gangs of New York, exactly.
Yeah, here's a major issue that's in the black community that we really, okay, I'll say it like this.
We need unity.
In the Jewish community, $1 circulates in that community between 7 to 9 times.
Yes.
You know, in our community, how many times do you think $1 circulates?
Not much.
They said, within less than a day.
That's the problem. So,
yeah.
So,
but you can't blame that necessarily on like.
Well, it's a lot of situations.
There's different parts
but,
to it. Yeah.
But you know, all I'm seeing right now in this community in America now, if you're willing to work hard, sacrifice, black, white, green, you can make it in America.
Yeah, but Brother Willie, can I ask this question? Now that you see that, every time you stand up, they have a problem with it now. They have a problem with our race standing up and saying, no, we're tired of this. And now even dealing with Black Lives Matter, anything that we do, they know that they used to have that way. Even dealing in the police or anything, they're getting very angry at us because we now see that what we have to do. So we have to come together, our leaders. Our leaders have to come together.
To you.
Pardon me?
Yeah.
The leaders have to.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry.
The leaders have to come together. And that's what I'm saying. We have so many leaders, no Indians. And that's what I'm saying. We have to come to sit at the table, not just a few, just sit at the table and understand what's going on in our community or just period. And we need to come together like other cultures. Other cultures come from other places. They don't think about a job. They think about running a business. We would never talk to run a business. We talk to work for other individuals. And other cultures, when they come in, the first thing they do, they have the American dream because not only they getting money, but they also starting business, hair business. You know, you got Chinese or Asian coming. What do they know about us? But they evidently they studied us to know that we buy hair. We buy hair, and we buy all kind of other stuff that goes along with that. So we have to understand that we have to come with a plan too for our kids to understand where we came from and what we should be doing. It's a lot of us is on ourselves, but we have to take initiative and quit looking like Brother Tony for somebody else to teach us. We have enough information. We too intelligent as individuals to allow ourselves to be in this rut to me in some ways. But a lot of in this culture, in this country, has smothered us. And every time we try to come out, because we have built this country. And now that we want certain things and certain rights and certain schools and certain things, people are having a problem with that. And you know,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, you go ahead. I'm just saying when you saw that when Trump and them, he saw a segment of certain races of people who still wanted to go back to the old way. They loved the old way of how they did stuff. That's what was so much going on in this country. We're divided by race, and it shouldn't be. It's 2000 and going in 22, and now we still dealing with problems that we should have been solved as a human race by now. But now that we see these things are not being done, we have to not only pray for God to lead us to situations, because we should have handled some of these things a long time ago, but it's dealing with us. And we just I was asking questions not to put you on the spot, but you know, I was just looking for your expertise on certain things. And the blueprint that you said that we got to show things that our people have done. And we have to know that we are capable of doing the same thing. We can't sit back and wait for others. And like you're doing, you have an ideal, now it's manifesting. So I'm a human being, so we got to do the same. But it's great to see that you're doing that. and that you're doing and showing certain things, because that gives us, motivating us and letting us know that we can come together, Jew, Black, whatever, and say that things that's going on in this country, we can solve the problem.
I totally agree, man. Definitely. One
yes, sir.
Particular group I respect because they teach martial arts. They teach a lot of discipline. They teach a lot of health. Is Black Muslims in this country. A lot of people, and it's not specifically like Farrakhan or anything like that. And I'm not trying to, I respect that because they take care of their own people, and they unite because of what they believe in within the these communities. And I just feel like, particularly, it's some African Americans who just don't do anything. Of course, you love them, you care for them. I mean, nobody's perfect, but if any other culture can do what they do, and we can do it. We just have to unite. We can't care about what somebody, no president, no government, no governor, we just got to do it ourselves and stop depending and trying to vote somebody in. Do that. You just got to get off your behind and do it. Work. It's nothing. And of course we have things shooting against us, and this person did this, and I didn't get that job because of what I look like and all that. But it's just no excuse. It's just your work ethic. Now you have other people of different cultures, Spanish and Latinos and Asian,
Mexican American,
taking over what white people, and now we're kind of like on the back burner. And there's this guy on YouTube that I follow, Dr. Claude Anderson, and he talks about how African Americans are being placed in another second slavery. Talking about economically, we just not be getting pushed further and further back, on the burner because we haven't united and done anything. But it's a lot of African Americans, a lot of Black people who are doing stuff.
No, you're so right. Yeah. And if you really take a good look at it, you're gonna see, a lot of people get, they say different things in regards to, look at all the Black millionaires, look at all, the ball players, the fighters, whatever, people that have went out there and worked hard to achieve.
Yeah.
And so, I guess when you start thinking about, as I said earlier, if you don't mind working hard, if you don't mind sacrificing, if you don't mind educating yourself, going to school, learning what you have to learn to get that particular position that you're looking for, you can make it in America. Yeah. And so overall,
or anywhere for that matter.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the group, everybody don't have that get up and go.
Yeah, not everybody.
Okay, and based on the history, there's no there's no wealth from our ancestors. Nothing was passed down to us. Nothing was our ancestors, whatever they worked, they built the country. They're on their backs. So many stories that if you heard them, you would just start crying. As you say, the guy that you went through. When you look at the situation where, and you hear the stories about, how they were worked to death, they couldn't read a book, they couldn't do it, and that's going way, way back. But as you look at it, there was no generational wealth to follow down. So therefore, it's a difference when you're starting from a bank account and you're starting from nothing at all. And
correct.
That I don't know if you've heard of the Black Wall Street and everything when everyone,
got burnt down
did start moving forward and everything, they were squashed, they were killed. And I don't even think anybody was brought to justice on that. There's been nobody that have no charges or anything. So the blacks had their hospitals, they had their stores, they had their homes. In fact, the whites wanted to move in those areas because they were so well kept and so nice.
Yeah, they just actually rebuilt another area called Black Wall Street. It's a mall. I think it's in Tulsa, but I don't.
It's one in Atlanta, But I want to say
Yeah, that
that
might be it.
Yeah, but,
what-
no,
what-
but my point that I was just trying to make, and I'll cease, is that when you have no, the history is not reflecting properly to the contributions that blacks have made. So therefore, within the school system and everything, the history is not being put forth properly. So therefore, your people not getting any type of credit that gives the kids, oh yeah, well, this, that, we're inventors, we're this, we're that, the other. It's all one-sided. Columbus discovered America, and it's all, a one-sided situation. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that generational wealth got to be paid in order for the group of people to even catch up to the standard of living in America. We could never catch up with the whites that have benefited either directly or indirectly from slavery. We could never. Yeah. But in terms of the sacrifices that our ancestors made and the promise of our government for the what is it? What do you call it? Reparations that they promised to our ancestors and everything, and that was not given. That's a lie that our government has done, and it's a wrong that they're going to have to right. I mean, it eventually, and I'm not saying, me as a black man in America, I've done things probably that I don't know that any other, what I'm saying, my lifestyle, taking care of my kids, working hard, starting a business, making money. At one point, one of the businesses I was running, I had started it. We started making money so much I didn't know, and banks were they only insured your money up to $100,000 back in the day, and so I had something like 17, 18 different banks with over $100,000 in them because I didn't want the bank to go out of business, and then you lose your money. There's nothing you can do. Everything over $100,000 you lose. So I had to get, they pulled me in, and they had to. They told me, they taught me about T-bills. They taught me about banking. They taught me like the first bank, the 14th bank, the rankings of banks, and how people, shield their money. They showed me how you can insure your money dollar for dollar. They showed me what, other people are doing, other rich people were doing with their money, how they insured. I didn't know that. That was, I've stayed in the Beverly Hills Presidential. They got a place in the Beverly Hills Hotel, in back of the hotel, which they call bungalow suites. God blessed me. I had that bungalow suite. I had the Cornish Rolls Royce. I had all of that. I don't know that I would have ever reached that in, somewhere else. But as a black man, a dropout, school dropout and everything, I was able to experience that. But still, that does not say that, okay, we're going to forget about what our ancestors went through. I mean, not with me. Yeah. I'm okay. I thank God. I'm not. I mean, that was back in the day, and those were the times when I was a young man and I was running around. I was starting business. I had close to 60 people working for me in the day, and I had 40 people at night, the evening shift. And so we were doing,
doing good.
Idea. Yeah, from an idea. And so, again, money is an education for everything. It's an education how to live. Yes. There's an education how to handle money, and there's an education how to carry yourself. And if you miss one of those educations, you're not going to make it through. So when you don't have any real training or anything, how to deal with money gets away from you. Your money goes away. I don't know. I started the company Oh man, back in it was 1985, 1984, 85, 86 was some of the best years of my life. I'm talking about just whatever
Yes,
I
it
had
was.
over there. And I had my office. I did my headquarters over at the World Trade Center on the 79th floor. Started up there with a very small office, and then we took half a floor in the World Trade Center. So, I mean, what are the chances of somebody going to that level, drop out?
But you did, Willie.
So,
but
yeah,
you did,
everybody's
brother
not.
Willie.
Yeah, and I thank God it was an experience and it was a learning situation for me.
But
you
we
know,
sit
now,
around. We sit around waiting for. We're sitting around waiting for someone to give us something, and that's what you said. We got restitution coming. 40 acres in a mule. We sitting around waiting, and if that's what we waiting for, but we're gonna be waiting all our lives in my kids' life. We have to get past that. All I know is that God knows what's happening. So if we believe in God and I believe in God, God sees the whole thing. So I'm counting on God to know that we can't make up the difference, and we're counting on the human race of individual, the Caucasians, to give it to us. But with God, all things are possible. So that's what I'm counting on, because I'm not waiting on somebody else to say, hey, we're going to finally give you this 40 acres and a mule, because it's not going to happen in this lifetime to me. So now I'm counting on God to give me the answers and the creativity and the wisdom and the knowledge to go forth and do what I have to do for myself, for my people, and for the human race. I'm not waiting. I don't care about all that.
Our health and our strength and freedom is, what we need to. But the secret is, I'm going to throw this out, and you guys may not agree with it. And then we're going to get back to Elliot, because he's sitting over here.
Elliot's I'm going to catch a plane, Elliot.
He's ready to jump in. He's ready to jump in.
I am catching a plane.
Here's the thing. Here's the secret, and I'm going to say it low so nobody can hear me. I don't want you guys to tell.
Okay.
The secret is $1 cannot come to our community when we buy Nikes, $300 sneakers, red top sneakers. You got people that living below poverty wearing name brand this, name brand that, and spending. Our dollars have got to circulate in our communities. Once that happens, then we'll come up as a group and you'll see prosperity. But every time we get $1 and we have to go over there.
Tell me how we're going to do it, Brother Willie. Tell me how we're going to do this.
Some black communities do that, but not all of them.
Listen. I got an expert here.
Well,
I can't tell you how we're going to do that.
I'm telling you.
Can I share something?
Hey, I'm going to let Claudette speak, but I'm going to tell you this. As long as they're using our young men like LeBron James and these people that they believe and love as idols, and they saying that they wearing these shoes, we already been programmed for this. We talk about this on my show. We have been programmed to buy like this. It's not a coincidence that we buy from Gucci shops being $600-700 shoes. I have done it. I got $600 shoes, whole closet full of them, and all kind of clothes. I don't know why I bought it, but that's what our culture. That's how we dress when we were young.
But there's a difference, Ben. Don't Dr. Johnson.
Okay, Claudine, hold on 1 second. We haven't heard from our pastor, and I want to hear her view. She has. We have Elliot here, and we got Brother Tony sitting before. He can't get to the door unless he goes over him. So we got him here, and so she can meet our brother Elliot, and he's a great soul. We thank God for him. And Pastor, this is Elliot. Elliot, this is our pastor. Pastor, we were just talking about some of the things and some of the situations with in our community, and we were looking at the Jewish community, how in some of their communities they have excelled and excelled around the country, not just around the country, around the world. And so, did Pastor leave us? Are you there, Pastor? Well,
I think she got disconnected.
She'll probably come back, but we'll go go back over to Claudine. Claudine, I'm sorry. I think we lost the pastor. But,
I was just saying it is. I doubt it is a coincidence that this conversation is happening, because God moves in mysterious ways. There was there's a sister of mine that was, I mean, a very close friend that was talking to me about her family and stuff like that, and she has over the years tried so many things to help each and every one of them get to the level where she is. She pastor is back.
Excuse me, I got disconnected. I am so sorry.
Oh,
it is so
nice.
It is so
Claudine, I'm
nice
so sorry.
to meet
She's
you,
back.
Brother Elliot.
No, that's all right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But Pastor, yeah, there you go. Okay, we're going to tell you to put
Yes,
the camera up
it's
so
nice
we can
to
speak to him.
meet you. It
Yes,
is
well, I
nice to
figured now this is our Jewish brother, and Pastor, you know what's going on and how things are happening, and I've just figured you might have some questions for our brother Elliot, and if not, it's okay. But he's ready to answer any question.
He's running for president now. He's running for president.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
God.
Vote for Elliot.
We're voting for you.
And Pastor, we were just really trying to, we were just here talking. We're not, experts in any field or anything like that. We were just kind of like giving our opinion on how we can help to get our communities into the wealth, because it's so much wealth in the country, and the wealthy is getting wealthier and the poor is getting poorer. So we were just talking about keeping dollars into the neighborhoods. But here's Elliot. This is Pastor Valerie. Pastor Valerie, Elliot.
Yes, so nice to meet you, Elliot. So nice to meet you. And Brother Willie, I agree. We have to find a way to keep our dollars in the community. And I want to say this. I was at an event this past Saturday. I was invited to it. And actually, I thought I was just going there to really pick up toys for our ministry. But the individual that was given it asked me to host a table there to share the financial services that I provide. And so I did, and there were other vendors there as well. And unfortunately, the turnout was not attended well. And I heard him say that we as Black people don't support Black people. So that could be true, couldn't have been true. But a lot of times you may find that, and the different vendors that were there had some nice things for the Christmas season. But unfortunately, and they spent a lot to set up their tables and to promote what they were doing, but they did not get the support. And a lot of times you will find that other Black people will shop at a Macy's, or they shop at Amazon or some other place. In fact, Amazon happens to be my granddaughter's favorite place. That's one of her favorite places. But I think that can be a problem too. Our lack of supporting each other when we open businesses.
Yes.
That could, and something else I want to bring out, and I commend my oldest son and his wife, that they have a 5-year-old, and already she's learning about money. She has her own stocks, and because she likes Amazon so much, she has her stocks. She was able to pick her stocks, and one of them is in Amazon. She has stocks in Target because her parents shop there a lot. So various places where they shop, they suggested that she get stock there. And they're teaching her about stock from this age of 5 years old, about money.
That's good.
So I
Excellent.
feel that if we start out youngsters at a young age, and I also commend my son before he even got married and started a family, he started saving for my granddaughter's college, maybe 10 years before. So if we have to have a different mindset, I think,
Well,
when it comes to money.
yeah,
And going
he had a
back
great.
to the sneakers and things, I know when my children were coming up, and yeah, the brand names were out there, but I gave them a dollar amount that they could spend, and that was it. They couldn't go over and get something that was out of my budget. And I believe they learned from that. They
That's
will
good.
not run to the store and grab Air Jordans or anything like that, because I told them they couldn't do that and they should put their money in other places. So that's my take on that so far.
That's
Well,
good.
yeah, and I appreciate you for comment on your comment on the subject that we were talking. You know, again, I just say that we are definitely going to have to figure out a way, and I don't want to sound like I'm racist or but I am definitely a person that if I can spend $1 in my community,
Yes.
that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
It's
I
not
can
racist.
buy a car from my community, if I can, buy my groceries in my community, even if it's a couple of dollars more, but I
That's the
understand
problem.
that.
That's the
And
problem.
so, no, yeah, well, that's the thing, most people are, they want to get the best deals, the best savings and everything. And
Yes.
the little mom and pop business on the corner is suffering because we get in our cars and we drive past them and go out to the malls, the big malls, where, that to me, and I'm just generalizing, and, I got my friend here, and I'm just glad that he was able to make it and he came. I was like, okay, wow.
Hope he comes back. He might be like, I ain't going back there, man.
He's gonna say, man.
Well,
He'll
him
say,
and I are
we're gonna
taking
tell
a trip.
everybody we asked him all kind of
We're
questions.
gonna go. Yeah,
What,
absolutely.
asking about the human race.
I also think it depends on where you live at, because growing up, I didn't see a lot of black-owned businesses. I wasn't exposed to it. But when, living in New York, living in Brooklyn, I see a lot of black-owned businesses, and I support that. And I buy a majority of my products, not all, because sometimes I can't find that through black resellers and black sellers. But the majority of stuff that I buy, I support that. But it also depends on when you grow up, because when I walk the streets of certain parts of Brooklyn, I see black-owned pastry shops,
That is true.
black-owned clothing shops. But if I go to the different city, maybe except for like Atlanta or some other places, if you don't travel and you're not exposed to that, and the media is definitely not going to show you that,
that's right.
then you have to once you find that, stick with it. But if I go to like parts of Atlanta, not all parts of Atlanta, but certain parts of Atlanta, they support each other. If I go to certain parts of Harlem and Brooklyn, and whether it be Caribbean, African American, I see that. I see women and black men who own different places. They own entertainment spots, bars, clothing, soap shops, and they're black people, and they own the building, they own, that, and I love that. But now if you go to some other cities, I don't know any particular one.
Yeah, well, it's your community. And basically in the inner city.
Yes.
And I'm just saying to you, in order for the community
as a whole
to become prosperous, and for people, those dollars, in the black community, you know how many trillions of dollars that the black community spends every year? With that
$2 trillion.
type of income, with $2 trillion. With that kind, it's just a little targeting and planning. Again, the dollar has got to circulate in the inner city more than one time.
But we
and
have
once
to.
that starts happening.
we have to Willie, we so caught up in when we look at the rappers and the singers and the entertainers wearing Gucci, wearing all the top brands. That's what we caught up in. I know somebody who drive past 20 people and pay $2,000 for a pair of pants because they say they have it because now they're exclusive. I mean, that's how I grew up in Detroit, and that's all we did is pay $1,000 for a pair of shoes, Gators, and all that. But I had a paper route. I worked and did all my stuff since I was 10 years old and bought my own clothes. But we was taught a certain way. My mother, if I didn't wear certain clothes, I felt like I was nothing. That's how they had me thinking, that I was low self-esteem. I went to school, and when I saw the kids and they saw me one time, my father bought me some plastic shoes, and I sat in class. I got talked about so bad that I walked out of class and went home and told my father I would never wear these shoes again. And he whooped me, and he said, well, in order for you to get something different, you're going to have to buy your own clothes. So at 11 years old, I bought my own clothes. From that point to now, with a paper route, we have paper route, but I just couldn't sit there. Our people always looked at wearing the clothes made us feel a certain way, that we felt like we was empowered. That's how I felt all the time. I had a pair of Gucci's or something on. I walked through school. Everybody, we empowered that. Oh, he got the Gucci's. He got this on. He got this. Look at where he got his shirt. We felt good about it. Got in class, half the people who was wearing that stuff couldn't spell backwards. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't do nothing. They just went around with
people.
Yes. With Jordan, $400. $500.
Element of.
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. I was going to say for the element of people that. So if I'm in my neighborhood and I see a black business doing great and I support it, there's always an element of people who won't support it. So some black people who will support it, other ones who will go to a white business to support. Now, and you
I don't mind going to a white business. It doesn't matter.
But you got to have a mind. It's a mindset. It's a mindset.
Have what I'm looking for. If they don't have it, then there's nothing wrong with going to the mall or somewhere to find what you want. Yeah. But I'm saying things that a black business selling that you're buying on there. If you bought it from that mom and pop business, it supports them. It helps them to stay in business.
But they're not looking.
Community.
They're not looking at. They told Merriweather the boxer, they was protesting Gucci. He said, I don't care about y'all protesting Gucci. It was a black community. He said, man, I'm going there and spend about $15,000, $20,000 on the Gucci. He came out with about 10 bags. He said, I don't care about all that. I got the money. This is what I'm gonna do. So when I look at that and I said, wow, he said, no, that's you because you can't afford it. And that's where we are so, if we could get out of being sensitized about wearing this, we talking, but remember I said, if it's in your subconscious mind and it's in your belief system that this is how you're supposed to look, this is how you're supposed to act, it's going to take an act of Congress to change us from that, because we're not going to go to no pop store. I'm going to tell you the truth. We're not going to no pop store and get a regular pair of gym shoes. We're just not, until we figure out.
To generalize our people too, because not all black people are like that.
Yes, not all black people.
But it just come down to training, teaching, and the thing about
that's what I'm trying to say.
A lot of people say, well, look at Michael Jordan, look at LeBron, look at all these, they're multi-million. We can't. Well, what if they weren't multi-million? We can't throw our whole situation on them. Well, they should do.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, they do.
But brother,
we thank God for them. We thank God that they were able to excel and make it. But we can't put our burdens on them and tell them what to do with their millions and their money. That's not our place to do. If like you said, a guy wanted to, we are not gonna patronize this particular company, and this guy, he's a millionaire and he wants to spend his money there. Can't get mad at him for that.
We can't,
because he. I'm sorry. Well, listen, we're gonna. Our guest is going to have to leave, and
sorry about that, sir.
We just want to hear from him. We want to hear from him. He's here.
Yeah, he gets tired of us. He said we complaining too much.
He's hearing our laundry. He's like in the back of his mind, oh God, did I come here for this?
No. Elliot's like, I gotta leave.
No, go ahead, Elliot. I'm sorry.
Is it a back door?
That's a side door, but it's not open though.
Go ahead, Elliot.
I am listening intently, and I don't have any. Not the expert on, but
Black people just get passionate about stuff.
Yes,
but
that's
you got,
all.
Give us the opinion. What's on the top of your head? Inquiring minds wants to know.
I agree with everything you've said. That support your own community, in addition to trying to get other people to support your community. I don't have any other words of wisdom. I wish I did.
No, well, you just said it. You said the biggest thing you could have said since you've been here.
Yes.
You should support your community. That's what you just said. That, to me, is everything. And that's what we have to learn, and we have to teach one another, you know. Bottom line, if you can buy those pair of sneakers, you want to buy those Jordans from a store in your neighborhood that's selling them. And if they don't have them, you go in there and you tell the owner, these are the ones I want. You get these, I will buy them. And that's just making our, if we can keep forget about 9 to 10 times, if we can turn the dollar over in our community 3 or 4 times, it picks up the entire community.
Yes,
Everybody benefits from that. Everybody benefits from that. So that's just what I'm saying. And I just want to thank Elliot for coming in today.
Yeah, me too.
Him and I, we planned this. How long ago did we plan this?
4 weeks.
Well, yeah, about 4 weeks, and we've been looking forward to this day. I've been, because I had told him, and he comes by. I think he came by a couple of days ago, right? And
he said, "You're not going to set him up no more." He said he's not getting set up by you again, Willie. He got you.
Well, we'll see after this year, because him and I, we got a lot of plans. I hope they're still on. But anyway, yeah.
I want to keep playing the piano at Port Authority. I love that.
Are you
That's good.
Today? Are you after here?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow you're going to
tomorrow. Oh wow.
Okay. We'll be there.
I won't be there. No, I won't be. Oh, but you guys enjoy.
I might be there tomorrow.
Yeah. But we just want to thank you again for coming in and just chilling with us and listen to some of our opinions on different situations. And we thank you definitely for the input that you gave us. It's not too many times you get somebody you can come up and then you say we got a white man, so we're gonna beat on the white man.
He's not responsible for the whole human race. So,
we don't get that often,
We're gonna tell you 1,000 years of our generation. We want you to answer these questions.
Yeah, tell us about this. Tell us about but you did good though.
Yes, you did excellent.
Good luck on your project. Good luck on your project. I think it's going to be a real good thing.
Definitely good luck on your project. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
It's a privilege, like I say, too.
Yes. Well, Heaven and I, we were playing and doing some music and just different music, and I got to tell you, he's an accomplished pianist. I mean, he plays very well, and you would enjoy him. We're gonna do something. We're gonna do something up there. I don't know, Anthony. We're putting on something, and I know Claudine and I. We're gonna start filming up there. Like everybody that comes, we're gonna film them so that everybody could see and enjoy the music. And so we just.
I hope y'all do that too. Ebony and Ivory.
Okay. You're too big for me to fight with. So, okay, it sounds good to me. Whatever you say.
You got a lot of talent in the Port Authority, especially a lot of black talent. A lot of black men come, and you wouldn't even think and play tremendously. Like, we met this one guy today. I actually met him days ago, but met him today, and he was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah, you got to meet him. Oh my God!
But there's so much talent, just diversity. The guy was from Brazil a couple of weeks ago, and everywhere,
Yeah, I've been filming. I try to film everybody that comes. I've actually outran. I have no more memory, no more room on my phone to film anybody. So I got to clear it off some kind of a way. Again, can you let Elliot by?
I gotta let him out. We gotta unlock the door now.
We gotta let Elliot out. Come on, guys.
I gotta give
Nice
Elliot
meeting
props,
you,
too.
sir.
He said that he noticed. He said maybe I could sing. Like, and I'm like, me, I don't have a voice, but he told me to let go. And
let go.
He said,
let go.
In the shower.
Let go.
I'll try it one day. We'll see.
Let go.
Absolutely. Listen, we want to thank our listeners out there.
Elliot, see you later.
Elliot, take care.
Yes.
Be safe. Take care.
I might see you tomorrow.
And
All right.
we just
Stay
want
blessed.
to say that we're at the Christian Fellowship Council. Anything that we can do to help steer someone, give them the information that we have. If it's homeless, they need food, clothing, whatever. We have a returning youth program from our Dr. Connor that has put forth. I think 1 minute. I want to elaborate on that a little bit. Someone that's homeless? Sorry?
No, I'll wait till you finish. I was just letting Brother Tony, I wasn't trying to generalize our people. I was just letting people know that's the mask. But I'm going to talk to you later, too. I'm about to catch a plane and talk to you, too, Tony.
I ain't going to be here, bro. I ain't giving you my address.
I want to put this out. I want to put this out so everybody knows that when you hear you catch an airplane, that's a threat. That's a threat.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Self-incriminating.
Listen, I want everybody to right, and then we got it on tape. Yeah. Everybody's hearing it. But anyway, I just thank God for our doctor. He makes great points, and he brings a lot of knowledge to the table. So we thank God for you.
Is Sister Claudine? Is she in Brooklyn?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No, she's in Connecticut, not New York.
Yeah, she's very brilliant. She's a very brilliant person too, as well. I love her comments. I love her comments.
Thank you.
Yes.
She keep us straight.
I'm among brilliant people. It's just rubbing off, right? That's all that's happening.
You keep us straight, Claudia. You just said, you keep us straight. That's good.
I usually come there, Anthony, to New York, and so, but Willie and I have to work out some logistics. So when I'm there, he's there.
That's good.
I came all the way from, I think, what is it, like a 3-hour ride on the train or something? And I wasn't here. I didn't come in. Normally I never miss a day, but I don't know, something came up and I couldn't get there. But anyway.
He knows how the black community is in Brooklyn, though. I'm sure the Caribbean community and the black community is just a different thing.
Absolutely. And we want to thank our pastor, Valerie. Now, she's in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Oh, is she?
She's right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Her ministry is right here in New York, and she does a lot. She gives out toys, food for the homeless.
That's great.
Here in the community, but most of all, what I'm happy about her is she brings the economic support to the table. She tells you about, money. She tells you about money. She tells you about insurance. She tells you about, how to save money, save on your taxes and things like that, where she'll be coming up in about 9 or 10 minutes with her program. It's going to be a great program. You want to listen in. You don't want to miss it because she's telling you how to save money, how you don't have to give money to the government, back to the government, and some loopholes you may not even know that you could write off. So she has a very, very great program.
How to keep that money in our community.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But I want to talk to everybody. We got a couple of minutes before we go to the top of the hour, and we're going to be going over to her. But now, listen, returning youth. We got a situation. We got a problem in the country. We have most of our young men of age, I would say 16 on up, some younger, that are incarcerated. You have a large number of them that are incarcerated. We have some of them that have been incarcerated for years and short times, and they're coming out, and, if you go to jail and you stay in jail and then you get your release date, your release date means one or two things. One, you're coming out. Two, you got to find some place to stay. You got to find something to do. And three, most likely, they're looking for you to return.
Yes.
because every day that one of the young men stay in prison, in jail, they are making so much money. The jail, the state. Do you know they rent these young people out
Mm.
for
Yeah.
I don't have the exact number, but at one point it was 90 cents an hour. Okay, you work 90 cents an hour, and at one point it was 12 cents an hour.
Slave labor.
Yeah, and these companies are bidding for these young men, and then when they get out of prison, they go to the company and say, "I've worked for you. I know this job. I did it before. I did 3 years here." And they say, "Yes, we can't hire you because you have a record."
Yep.
Wow.
Now, they took him in for 90 cents
Yep. Use you.
a day, 90 cents an hour. Somebody told me something crazy. It was $1 a day or something retarded that nobody could live off of. But even let's go back to 90 cents a day labor, and they worked them, and then when they had to pay them, they tell them, "You have a record." Well, they had a record when they were working for you at 90 cents. So what would be the difference? So these companies, I've shed a light on them. I've shed a light on as many as I can, and I found ones that are using prison labor to to use these young men as slaves for their companies and benefiting. You would be surprised. I mean, Marriott hotels, McDonald's, Wendy's. These companies are using these young men as slave labor, and the companies that let you know that we can't hire you, or the main companies that's bidding for you to get your job. So I'm hoping I'm looking at the stream now. I'm getting calls.
But they,
should be looking.
yeah, but they're destroying
So
they're destroying the mindset of the young men. That's what I'm saying.
they're crushing their spirit. This
They-
is why they
yes,
come out and go
and
right
that's why
back
they
in.
do these things. So
Because
they want
feel
them to
like
come
there's
back.
nothing. Yeah, they feel like there's nothing out there. Now
Yes.
I want to talk to you about the returning youth. I don't have enough time here, but we're going to go over to our pastor,
Yes.
Valerie, but then we're going to come back to Dr. Surgeon Connor, Post-Incarcerated Juvenile Justice Reformation Act Initiative. Now, this is where we have a place for these young men to come out. We have places where they can come in. We have counselors. We have people that can train them, give them good jobs. We have some out now that's driving trucks. I got some young men. I'm going to put some pictures up showing you, and they're standing by their trucks, and they're making good money. I got to tell you guys about a story where I worked at I started a school a while back, and one of the guys came back. They were riding this very expensive car, and I stereotyped them because, you see a young guy in a $200,000 or another $100,000 car, and you didn't have it when you were that young, so I just stereotyped them, and they ran up to me and they said, "No, we graduated from your school. I work for FedEx. I make over $100,000 a year," and so those are the good stories. But again, we want to be able to help these young fellas that are coming out. These are our kids, y'all. These are our kids. This is us.
But I love that, Brother Willie. I love what you're doing, and I think it has to be more shown. I mean, really shoot that in the marketing, shoot all that you can, because it needs to be put out there, the things that you're doing and the things you're doing for these kids. I mean, throw it all out there. Let them see this every day. Let it get into their minds. Let it get into their consciousness. They need to see this on if it's once a week or something, just bombard, let these people, young men know and these young ladies know, because a lot of people don't know this. And I didn't know it to the degree that you had until you told me. So please keep this out here, because you're doing a tremendous job with others, and let them know it has to be broadcast more about these things to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. But again, it's us. It's our kids. It might not
Yes.
be my son, but it's your son. It's in
Yes.
our community and
Yes.
the inner city. And
Yes.
when you see how the system is
Yes.
benefiting off the backs,
That's
you
crazy.
know, of these young people and
That's
the
crazy.
big companies that you would say, not this company. No, you would be surprised. You would be surprised. Most of your companies out there
Wow.
they're
Wow.
bidding for these young men to come in and work for pennies.
A lot
But
of
they will not hire them. But anyway, listen, we got to go over to the top of the hour.
Hey, Willie, you need to
commercial
put Willie, get a list, all the list of them, and broadcast this thing. The list
I
of
got
these
him.
folks
I
are
got
doing
him.
it.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Yes, do
After
that.
this commercial, we're going to go right over to our Pastor Valerie
Yes.
for 10 to 15 minutes, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to read them off to you because I got them in my book here. Yes, I'm telling you, man, it's just crazy.
Some of them
Listen, keep it locked.
umbrella companies too.
Don't touch that dial. We will be back after these commercials.
Okay.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS and you will be
Oh, Elliot wasn't offended.
Oh, man,
Nah, he was good.
yeah, it was good.
I think he really liked being on here.
I hope so.
That's 800-492-4190.
Glad we all got a chance to speak.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you're testing your blood sugar 4 or more times per day, injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. A CGM can immediately reduce pain. It's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Plus, get free shipping, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. Call now to receive your new continuous glucose monitor at little or no out-of-pocket cost. 800-531-1550. 800-531-1550. 800-531-1550. That's 800-531-1550.
Go to a sneaker store.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. If you call right now and you're a new Dish subscriber, packages start at $19.99 a month for 12 months. That's right, $19.99 a month. Compare that to your cable bill, and the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD channels, free DVR to record your favorite show, and free installation.
But you think,
free Dish
you don't know, you
so
think
you can
that,
take your
I'm
TV
gonna go
on
across
the
the
go,
street and get it
watching
for
your
cheaper.
favorite programs on your smartphone, tablet,
I
or
remember a guy
laptop
telling me,
anywhere in the world.
he was like,
I'll
oh
say
no,
it
we
again,
own the business
all for
across the
just
street.
$19.99 a month for 12 months. This is a limited time, 24-month offer you must qualify
Not mess
for,
people,
and
but
it could
keep
change
the
Yeah,
money
yeah,
right
they
now.
keep the money. You get mad at them, say, I'm going to the next store.
Yeah,
You actually going to
67
to his family store.
818-3967.
He got his cousin running it.
818.
But you thinking it's somebody else, but it's not.
That's 800-818-3967. WPAT.
You think he's making a difference in your life?
Yeah. Hey, listen, we are back, and just want to let you know that we have our Pastor Valerie coming up with the economics portion of this program. So please stay with us. We will be back in about 10, 15 minutes. Keep it locked. Don't you dare touch that dial. And we're going over to our Pastor Valerie Winters. Okay, let me.
Good afternoon. This is Valerie Winter Wilson. And today I'm going to share with you another way that you can cut your tax liability in this year of 2021, going into the year of 2022. I'm going to share with you from a different perspective this week, from a biblical perspective. So let's get started. What is the strategy that's going to help you to cut down on your tax liability? Well, how about the strategy of giving? Yes, I said that right. The strategy of giving so that you can reduce your taxes. God has the right to disconnect his services to those who are delinquent in payment. We'll start from there. The promise, will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But you said, wherein have we robbed thee? The answer is in tithes and offerings. Ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. That's found in Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 9. Now, the power. What happens if you fail to pay your phone or other utility bills? The service is disconnected, right? God, in his mercy, does not, fortunately, disconnect all of his services if we fail to pay our tithes and offerings. For example, he allows us to keep our life and our salvation. However, he does disconnect the protection plan that rebukes the devourer for our sake, found in Malachi chapter 3, verse 11. Now, this makes us more vulnerable to the attacks of the devil in our finances. The refrigerator will break down at the wrong time, right? And you have to buy another one. Or how about that car, that clunker that you didn't plan to buy a new one right now because you can't afford it? And God has been so gracious in keeping it going for you, but yet you were not thankful and you did not bless your local church, synagogue, or mosque by paying your dues there, your tithes and your offering, especially in the Christian church. So these are ways that the devil will devour the little money that you have, and you'll still have to pay it out in taking care of these other things that have come up. Now, some other things that can also happen to you when you're not under God's protection is the loss of your job, sickness for you or your family. There's no promotion or raise on your job, etc. But if you pay your tithes and also pay the back tithes that you did not pay, then God can reconnect you to his plan and you can get those blessings again. And by the way, when you fail to pay your 10% of all of your earnings that God has allowed you to earn, there is a penalty where you have to pay an additional 10% on those back tithes, bringing the total to 20%. That is found in Leviticus chapter 27, verses 30 through 31. People often say they can't pay their tithes because they don't have enough money. But didn't they have 10% of what they made? They did, since the check regardless of the size, represents 100%. They had 10% of it. In other words, that they see the value or the importance of giving God what is due to him. If things are tight concerning the tithe and offering, that's a good sign that you really have not been managing your money from a kingdom perspective. If paying tithes and offerings are difficult for you, what should you do? That's the question. Well, the answer is learn kingdom principles from someone who is successfully following them, and allow their godly wisdom to direct your life. Get a mentor, get someone to help you, someone that is successful in these principles. They could provide solutions to your problems, but you must overcome pride. You must be able to ask them and also to submit to the answers and the solutions that they are providing for you. Principle number 2, people try to give more to have more when they should learn how to have more to give more. And I just like to make a note here at this point that if you have been following this program over the last couple of months, I have shared with you various ways that you could make extra money, whether it's not having a part-time job, but having a part-time business, buying real estate on sale, and also your 401k plans, and various ways that you can make extra money. The promise, Jesus said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. Another way of saying that is that the possessions that he had, those great possessions really had him. They had his heart. This is found in Matthew chapter 19, verses 21 through 22. The parable. Most of us have heard the phrase that given is not a loss, but a gain, and are familiar with the scripture, give and it shall be given unto you, St. Luke 6:38. However, we must be careful not to confuse the promise that comes with giving with the purpose of giving. The promise in giving is to give so that you will receive more in order to fulfill the purpose of giving, which is to be a blessing to others. Giving should never be used only as a means of attaining more material items. It should be used as a medium through which you become a blessing to other people and to your household. The rich young ruler, or the rich young man that Jesus was speaking to in Matthew chapter 19, refused to give all that he owned to the poor because he could not see any tangible gain from his giving. If he had the right perspective on giving, he would have seen that he had been blessed so that he could bless other people. It's not just about you, but it's about having an overflow. God wants to bless you so that you will have enough to be a blessing to someone else. As Christians, we must focus not only on giving to get, but to learn kingdom principles that not only are we getting money from giving, but from our businesses, our investments, our real estate holdings, even from better managing our money. And the last principle, You can tell what God trusts you with by what you have, and you can tell what you trust God with by what you give. The promise found in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 7 through 9. Every man according as he purposes in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. And God is able to make all grace abound toward, that ye always have it all sufficiency in all things, may abound to every good work. As it is written, he has dispersed abroad, he has given to the poor. His righteousness remains forever. The power, our level of giving is the meter that judges our trust in God. When we give with trust and assurance that God will return to us when we need it. Likewise, when God gives us things, he trusts that we will keep and manage them according to his will and for his glory. God gives to us at the level that he can trust us to give back to him through the ways of our local church when he needs the resources he has given us. You can go out and get a house or even a car without God. Sinners do it every day. It may seem strange when I first say this, but you don't need God to get these things. However, you are better off if you get them with God. And the question is why? And the answer, because whatever God authorized, he will make sure that you have the resources to keep it without struggle and with his peace. It's nothing like getting things, houses and cars, and you're struggling to pay for them. Now, I would like to share with you before we close out today that besides your tithes and offerings given to your church or your synagogue or your mosque, or whatever religions, entity that you may believe in, there are other ways that you can also reduce your tax liability through giving. You can donate clothing, let's say to Salvation Army or other places like Salvation Army. You can donate furniture. You can donate cars. I know our ministry has been blessed many times to receive cars from people around this time. You can donate stocks and bonds and also real estate. But make sure that any donations that you make this month, do it before December 31st. Also, to get the full benefit and to set up a tax plan and strategy, check once again with your tax preparer or your CPA. And if I can be of any assistance with helping you with income protection, which is life insurance, auto, home, small business insurance, as well as retirement plans, college funding, and also senior health care, you can contact me at 646-270-0865. The number again is 646-270-0865. Well, God bless, and you have an awesome week. God bless you.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. We are back. That's right. We want to thank our Pastor Valerie Winters for her program, and it's just awesome that we can be able to have bring that type of programming to you. It's very important that we understand about money and we teach our kids about money. She said something to the effect that I think she says either her nephew or her nieces teaching their kids at 5 years old they have stocks. That's the best thing you can do for a young person. Teach them about money. Teach them about stocks and bonds and things like that. Coming up, it this day and time, you just got to be able to. You have to be able to know about financing because that's a problem. If we show our kids how to value money, how to respect money, and or get into stocks and trade earnings, and so that's a major blessing. Listen, we've had a great program. I was telling you a little bit about our returning youth initiative for our Dr. Connor returning youth program that we are all involved in, and that we are, we have a lot of young people out there that are involved in learning trades, getting school, and I guess some pictures I want to, put up. I'm going to get them to Gary. And you see some of these young people, how well they're doing, and how some of the things he's doing to take it around the country. And it's very important that you can get involved and be a part of it. So whatever little bit that you can do would help us because we need the help in our community. We really need it. And that's Returning Youth Initiative. It's Dr. Surgeon Connor Post-Incarcerated Juvenile Justice Reformation Act Initiative, 501c3 nonprofit organization, and headquarters is at 2500 Coney Island Avenue, right here in Brooklyn, New York. We're going to hear a lot more about this program as it's starting to sweep the nation. How he's going around to different regions, different states, and how they are receiving it. So I'm just excited about being a part of it. We've had some of the young men that have come home. We've been able to work with them, able to get them computers, able to get them rooms and places to stay, and get them registered for different programs. Also, he has a program for their medical, counseling, physical, mentally, all situations that he has prepared to receive these young men that are coming in, because a lot of them come out there what we call damaged goods. Okay, meaning that they're hurt in some part of their life where they're trying to deal with, and a lot of them have many different situations that they're dealing with, and so he has professional counseling for them. And it's just a great program that it's so needed, and it's needed so badly. So every state that he goes to, they open their arms, and they're working with the police department, working with the prison department, just to get these young men a real chance, to let them know there is a chance for you. You do have a chance, another chance. So we thank God. Listen, I want our sister Claudine to tell us a little bit about herself and tell us a little bit about her coming program.
Oh, hi everyone. Hi, Willie. So my program is called New Me, CFC New Me. It's Claudine Fun Coley, Christian Fellowship Council. New Me, right? And so what that program is really to create an awareness of mind, body, and opportunities. There are so many things happening now. There's so many different things going on. And if we're not, our minds are not conditioned the right way. And when I said mind, I'm talking, what are you telling yourself? What is the thing that you're saying to yourself that will help you to move from this level to the next level? Because if you give in yourself negative self-talk, then that will continue and you'll just feel down and out. And so we want to connect biblical principles as to, you know, I shall live and not die. And I will become all I was created to be, to help you to get to that level. No, your body is the temple of God. And how are we protecting that? How are we caring for that? And Willie and I basically tried some products which basically helped us so much. And we believe that if it is that we are protecting our bodies and we're putting in good stuff, we're doing our exercises, you know, we're just taking care of the temple that God gave us, then at the end of the day, we'll be able to go out and, you know, just live an enjoyable life and feel fulfilled and, you know, enjoy what it is that the Lord has given to us, you know, rather than being in pain and being, you know, sad all the time. So that is also something that we're going to explore. The next part of it is the opportunity. So there are so many things happening now. There's the internet. There is also small businesses within our communities, which some of our guests are going to come on. I'm going to have guests that comes on and they're going to be talking about what new opportunities there are in the community that, you know, listeners can tap into. Not only that, there may be jobs available. There may be different things that you can do, because right now some people are maybe out of job. There may be home-based, you know, businesses that you yourself can run and still be able to spend time with your family and your kids. So in a nutshell, that's what the program is about. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to just, you know, sit and have a good time and chat with everyone and make sure at the end of the program, you can connect with a mentor, you can get a job, you can do something about, you know, tap into the spiritual or biblical principles and, you know, uplift yourself through your mind, as well as take some of these good supplements. Willie's gonna have them on his health food store. So you can tap into that as well. So in a nutshell, that is what it is about, and I'm psyched to get started.
Yes. So I don't see the brace or anything. So you're totally over the accident?
Oh, no, I am not totally over it, Willie. But you know what? To God be the glory. And I have the tapes are off. And so tomorrow I'm going to see the specialist. They said that I should have been way further because this accident is far over 6 months. And of course, I can't do anything. But I'm still not where I'm supposed to be. So I'm going to see a specialist tomorrow. But I'm saying, Willie, you saw me. I had tapes on my neck. I had it on my back. I had the brace around. I don't know what they're saying, but do you know what? To God be the glory, because I'm not wearing it. And you know what? I don't have to wear it all day. I had to sleep in it too. And I am so grateful because prayers do work. People, prayers work. And I am living testimony of that. Believe me, Willie. And these supplements have helped me so much too. God give you what it is that you need. Never believe that if you're in a situation, he's not providing, he's providing and he's looking out for you because he never leaves you nor forsakes you. And I am living proof of that.
Yes. I got to tell you, she gave me some stuff.
Yeah.
And I started taking it, and that's when I did my physical and everything for Pastor Valerie got me this great insurance policy at my age, and when they did the medical, you know, the check me out,
evaluation,
my numbers, all my numbers came back great, all of them. I think my cholesterol was just a little bit over, a little high, on the high side, just the cholesterol, but everything else came back flying colors. So I thank God for it, and also it just picks you up. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You know, when you take it, you get. I go the whole day. I get up 5 a.m. in the morning. Sometimes I don't go to bed until 12 o'clock at night. And all day I'm just going. I got energy. Yeah. So you got to tell y'all what that is.
Yeah, we got to get the name
we're
of it.
gonna do a whole thing on it. We're doing a site now, getting it together. Everybody will be able to order it and get some products. You know, if you have
feel good inside out. It makes you feel good inside out, Willie. Yes, that's what it always makes me feel. Yeah.
Yes. Listen, well then you're gonna stay with us. We got Candace.
Yes, I will stay. Yes, I will stay.
We got some great guests coming on, and we want to thank God for them. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us, staying with us this long. I tell you, our Wednesdays are our days. I mean, we are here, committed to you, and whatever you'd like to call in and talk about. I'm going to start giving the numbers. I know I haven't been giving the phone numbers out, but we're going to start doing that. So we'll make it a two-way program, because you may have questions you may want to ask some of the guests that we have, or questions you just may want to ask. And we would like for you to call in and ask your questions. We're going to go right over to Candid Darrell, none other than one of our great contributors. And he's got some good new he's got a song that I really want to hear. So we're going to just transfer it over to our brother, Darrell.
Well, God bless you, Brother Willie. It's a pleasure to be on air. We want to keep everybody's spirits up and keep everybody encouraged. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can. Loud and clear.
Yes,
well,
we can.
That is so good. That is great. Well, this segment today is a combination of two segments. Welcome to Musicland, as well as the Testimonies of Glory. Welcome to Musicland is where we support music creatives and produce music songs. When you want to build on your muse, contact Welcome to Musicland, where you will find something good on the other side. And the Testimonies of Glory is a branded segment where people share their personal testimonies of miracles and victory, a tribute to divine and supernatural intervention. This evening we have again the one and only Nikki D from Nikki D and the Browns. We had the pleasure of having her on last week.
Yes.
And
Amen.
she made us happy. She made us happy last week with her music, and I'm sure she's going to make us happy again this week with her music. Nikki D, are you there?
I'm here. Can y'all see and hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
What's up, my wonderful people, my beautiful people? How y'all doing?
We're doing
How you doing?
Good.
All right,
We belong together.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes, we do.
Where's the family?
Oh, well, I use this phrase. I hope it's not inappropriate. The family, we scattered like roaches today. We all over the place.
Oh, okay. Well, we're blessed. We're blessed to have Nikki D. Definitely blessed to have Nikki D. And we are in this season, a holiday season. And we're here to continue to celebrate the season that we're in. And Nikki D has a testimony to share with us. You know, the Testimonies of Glory, where we kind of shared just great things, miraculous things that God has done for us, that the divine has intervened for us.
Amen.
And Nikki has shared something with me that was really amazing. I said, you have to come on in and share this story.
Right.
This is amazing testimony. So Nikki D, take it away.
Amen. Glad to be here.
What is your testimony of glory?
My testimony of glory is of in 2003. Me and my church family were headed to Columbus, Ohio for a church service. It was 11 of us that was in a van, and we was just riding, checked everything out, in van, oil, tires, checked everything before we hit the road. And probably 10 minutes into our ride, and at 5 o'clock traffic, 5 o'clock, it was a Thursday, 5 o'clock traffic on August 11th. We had a tire treading start coming off of the tire and had a blowout. So my cousin that was on last week, Tamika, she was driving, and she went to pull over in the shoulders, and the van began to flip. The van literally flipped. Steering wheel went out of control, flipped upside down. And 5 o'clock
traffic, flipped upside down, skid to the shoulders. And I remember when I was talking to Daryl yesterday, I remember screaming, everybody in the van screaming, and everybody was young people because it was our praise team, our musicians. We had equipment, keyboards, amplifiers, had all of this in the van. And I remember screaming, we were screaming, and at that moment, I didn't even have a prayer like, Lord, help us, save us. I had nothing but a scream, And we flipped, and I remember it being dead silence. So I was thinking later on, I must have blacked out. We all must have just blacked out. Then it was complete darkness, and then screaming started all over again. So as I'm in this van, I couldn't see no light. It was dark. We were, screaming. I didn't know who was where, what was going on. By us being completely upside down, it felt like the seats were going to come down on. It was just terrifying, horrible. But I remember praying at that time. I said, God, because I felt responsible for the other 10 passengers, because I was the praise team leader. We're part of the music ministry. I'm trying to get get them there safe. My cousin volunteered to drive to help me out, but I felt responsible. So I remember praying. I said, God, if you get me out of this van and the 10 other people with me, God, I promise I tell men and women it was you. I would testify about how you have done. Because at this time, I didn't know if anybody was hurt, injured, dead, alive. I didn't know. By this time, the horn blowing, fuel is falling from the engine, is smoking, and so it was this little bit of light, and I crawled to the light to get out. And I'm a big girl, as y'all can see, but this hole looked like it was about this big. But God allowed me to be skinny for 5 seconds to get out of that window. And as I got out, I was thanking God, and I looked around and I started counting the different ones. And my cousin I was driving, she was trapped. She was trapped in the van. She had the seatbelt. She was the only one who had the seatbelt on, and she was trapped in her seatbelt. And we trying to get her out. I went on the other side of the van. By the time I went to the other side of the van, I could hear her screaming out because she had got out. And I prayed, and I was scared. I was crying, but I was thanking God. And I looked around, and I think it was paramedic, but everybody was seeing different people, so we knew it was God and his earthly angels looking out for us. And I remember counting. They said, how many was in the van? I said, it was 11 of us. So they said, make sure everybody got out. Make sure ain't nobody in there. I went to counting and looking, and I'm counting and I'm looking. And when I got to the 10th one, and then I pointed at myself, 11, and I was trying to look at them, make sure they're okay. We all got out of the van, no casualties, nobody, no broken bones. The pastor's daughter, she had a fractured, her finger got fractured. No casualties. And they said an accident like that, usually people get thrown out of the van, get thrown out of the window. Or my cousin, she got real panicky. She just started running, but where people run out in the street. And so I tell people that God have angels that look out for you. Angels everywhere. He protects. And we're doing the will of God. And we're going. And I said, God, if you save me and the 10 other people with me, I will testify, I will tell people. And I was telling Brother Daryl yesterday, that the enemy knew each one of our potential. And he knew our purpose. He knew our potential. So he tried to stop us before we even know how powerful we are. Because every last one, and I can name them, every last one of the ones is on a van to this day. They're working in ministry. They travel the world. They have families, wives, and children. Testimonies. Have opened businesses. The one young man, he's an awesome musician. He's a nurse. You know what I'm saying? It's like the enemy tried to stop us with us not knowing, but God said no. God said no. They're going to go forth. He's like, what the enemy meant for evil, God turned that thing around for my good. So I testify and tell it not to have no selfish prayers, because I could have said, Lord, just save me, let me get out of here, okay? But I didn't. I wasn't selfish. And God answered my prayer, and I'm a living testimony that I should survive something that most people don't survive. So I just want to give God glory. Because he's worthy.
Hallelujah.
Yes, he is.
Hallelujah.
Yes, he is.
Amen. Amen. He's
Amen.
awesome and worthy to
Wow,
be
that's
praised.
something else. That's something else. Of course, Nikki said that they didn't even have seatbelts on. Majority of
We
them
didn't
didn't
have
have
no
seatbelts
seatbelts on.
on.
No.
And
The only one that had seatbelt was my cousin. Yes.
Wow.
With
Wow.
instruments.
She was the only one that was stuck, huh? With the one that had the
Yeah,
seatbelt
she was the
on?
only one stuck and was like hanging because she was stuck in the seatbelt upside down. So the seatbelt was holding her and she was being held by that seatbelt. And it couldn't strangle her. You know, we never knew, but I remember seeing her and I go around and her door jammed. And the other thing, let me say this. We had instruments, we had amplifiers, guitars, keyboards that we could have been decapitated. Then but before we left out, we was eating snacks and everything. When we got from the emergency room, we did get checked out. We went to the junkyard to get our equipment out. The fumes from the vehicle was so hot, it never did catch on fire, but it was forming. The fumes from the vehicle was so hot that it was a cracker. We was eating bologna and crackers. One of the crackers was burnt to a stench, unrecognizable, that was on the seat that I sitting in. When they was able to flip it upside down, burnt to a crisp. I said, because if we would have got trapped, we could have had, I can't, let me not think no more about it. Because the more I think, the more I think.
Amen.
Jesus.
Giving God
Thank you,
God
God.
is a miracle worker. God is a miracle worker.
Yes, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, I understand you got some music here, Brother Darrell. What?
Oh yeah.
Nikki
Oh
got some
yeah.
music for us.
Yeah, in the spirit of the holiday, the spirit of Christmas, we have "Oh Come All Ye Faithful" by Nikki D and the Browns. That's "Oh Come All Ye Faithful."
Amen.
Nikki D and the Browns.
D
Thanks for that testimony, Nikki.
Here we go.
God bless you. Thank you for this time.
Thank you. Thank you.
The
Wow.
All right.
Good.
That's great stuff.
That was
What'd you think of it?
Oh, I loved it. Was
Yeah,
that the guitar
yeah.
too? That bass
No,
guitar?
that's the steel guitar that
Steel guitar.
she's playing.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Still, I mean,
Fire
oh my
right
God.
there.
Yes.
Steel guitar?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't think I heard a better version of "Oh Come On."
Bless y'all. Bless you. Bless you.
Wow.
Steel guitar, man. She killed it on that.
Oh yes.
So much. Thank you.
We enjoy your music. I think we enjoy you, and that was some testimony, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, God is good.
I had to speak earlier today for our church called Morning Manna, and just the topic I brought was about Jesus' name. His name is powerful. His name is his personality, how humble he is. And so when I think of that song, when I call on him, God with us, Emmanuel, just the power in his name alone.
Yes, that is true. That
Amen.
is.
Wow, we are so grateful and we are so thankful that we
Thank you for having me
God
again.
knows us and loves us, and he said he'll never leave us nor forsake us.
Or
Nikki
forsake
D, we
us,
just want
right.
to thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing that wonderful music for us for the season. Kind of just puts us in that right spirit during this season. Thank
Amen.
you so much.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank y'all for having me, family.
Absolutely, you best believe it. Absolutely.
I want to see you play that steel guitar.
Man, I would love to see her play that guitar.
Yeah, well, Willie, we working on it. We working on trying to get her to come out to New York, to come out to Connecticut, to come out to Newark. We working on it.
That would be great.
Yeah, we're gonna keep you abreast of things, Willie. Certainly.
Where's she at?
Beautiful.
What
She's
city?
in Ohio.
Ohio. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yep, Toledo, Ohio. We are Northwest Ohio, Toledo. Yes.
I got family down there too. Wow. We got I don't know if you ever heard of the Honeybees. That's another group, gospel quartet group. And
are they out of Cincinnati?
No, they're out of Newark actually.
Oh, okay.
Newark. Yeah, they're originally from Newark, and they moved to Ohio. I don't remember what part. But anyway, music is just second to none. I love it, and like I said, I can't wait to see you play that steel guitar.
Yeah.
Who was on the piano? Who was playing the piano?
Oh, my godson, his name is Byron Harris. So he's like our studio MD music director. So when we do studio work, he does the work for us, and then I lay my guitar, vocals, and stuff like that. So that's the concept we wanted to have, that acapella, real soft, and then go into this big gigantic ending.
Loved it.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely. Well, just don't be a stranger.
I know that's right. Y'all can't get rid of me. I will not be a stranger, because I got to get my stuff from Claudine so this arthritis can take a flight, because I got work to do in the kingdom.
Listen,
Claudine?
You need to give me a call. That's what you need to do.
Oh, yes. Ain't no stopping me after that.
Listen. I just sent you my number in the chat.
All right.
Give me a call.
I will. I sure will.
Well, our brother Fitzgerald, praise God. You want to close us out?
Yeah, well, if anyone who actually would like to be connected to Welcome to Music Land, you'd like the music to be played on the radio, you'd like your band or your group to be considered for coming to be booked for a concert, if you are involved with music and song production and you want some support, certainly give me a call. This is Candid Darrell. I'm at 860-922-6983. That's 860-922-6983. And trust me, there is something good on the other side.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Listen,
thank you, brother.
Every Wednesday at 5:30, there's something good on the other side. We just want to thank our sister Nikki and the Browns. I tell you, it's just awesome. I love their music, and we just want to ask all of you to keep us in prayer. You can tune into our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week radio station, which is on the internet, which is CFC gospelradio.com. That's CFC gospelradio.com, and you will hear all great music 24 hours, 7 days a week. And we have our Pastor Staten, which is our music director here, and he outdoes himself. I mean, he's just good with all quartet, all type of gospel, contemporary, the old school. He said he plays music that other DJs don't know to play. So we want to just say, that's his saying. Anyway, also we're here every Tuesday from, what time are we here? 3 to 4.
3 to 4, 4 hours, yes.
Yeah, 3 to 4 every Tuesday. And we are also here from 5 to 6 p.m. from 3 to 4 with our Apostle Garris bringing the word. The man of God is coming to you and have a call-in number. You can speak with him. He will speak with you. He can tell you what God is putting in his spirit for you. And that's every 5 to 6 p.m. on every Tuesday. You don't want to miss the man of God because he comes strong. I mean, this message this week, it was just for me. I texted him. I told him that message was just for me. So we thank God every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. here on WPAT. You have Pastor Frank Garris will be, I say pastor, but he's apostle. He will definitely be with you, and you definitely will enjoy his ministry. We move right over to Wednesday. We're here from 3 to 6 p.m. every Wednesday. That means from 3 o'clock right on up to, I forgot something to say. On Tuesday, we have our Coach Up with our Dr. Ben Johnson from 3:30 every Tuesday. Dr. Ben Johnson, Coach Up program. The name of the program is Coach Up. So you'll hear him every Tuesday also from 3:30. And going back to Wednesday, every Wednesday we're here from 3 p.m. right on up to 6 p.m. We have our Pastor Garris. We have our Pastor Valerie Winters with our program, with our money. Did I say money program?
Financial literacy.
Yeah, financial literacy.
Yes.
Yeah, and she brings it. She lets you know about the, your home, your mortgage, your interest rates, your credit cards, your cars, your insurances and things. She brings it every Wednesday at 5 p.m. And then we have our brother Dennis at 3:30. Every Wednesday at 3:30, our brother Dennis will he has a program for anyone that, have dependencies, whether it's, drugs, alcohol, porno, whatever. He has a program that it's free, and he can help you with it, and that's every Wednesday at 3:30 he comes on. And we just continue to go. We have different guests that we bring in as a day. We want to give a big shout out to Elliot.
Yes, definitely.
I think we didn't rough him up too bad, did we?
No, I think he's up.
He's okay?
I didn't see him in the hallway crying or anything.
Well, we have different guests that we bring in, and they share with us their opinions on different subjects, and they also let us know what they're into and what they're doing. And we also have our sister Claudine. She has a program that's second to none about her vitamins and some of the things that she brings to the table. And I got to tell you, I've been taking some of these nutrients, And I'm telling you, when things are bothering you, you're conscious of it, and you start taking something, and then when it's not bothering you anymore, you forget all about it. You just go like normal.
Right.
And then you remember, you say, oh, wow, I used to, my leg used to hurt, oh, my this used to hurt, and it's not hurting anymore because now that it's not bothering you, you just go like normal. So some of the nutrients and things that.
Notice the difference in you, though.
Yeah, you see me running and everything, right? Moving.
No, you're going to run. Leave me, Willie, because you were going much faster than I could. I've improved a little bit more, so good.
Absolutely, and that's every week, every Wednesday. She's going to come to you. She's going to let you know some of the. She's got guests that's going to be coming on the program also, but she's going to tell you, the most of all, she's going to tell you the benefit and show you the benefit of these nutrients that you should have, you must have, in order to keep healthy, because that's what it is about right now. If your immune system is down low, all of these, what they call Omicron or something, the Delta, the COVID-19, they're just different flu.
Mutated forms,
Yeah. So if your immune system is lacking, then you're susceptible to all of those different things that's flying in the air.
Yeah.
If you get your system right, you ain't got to worry about that. And I'm saying that because I've been here now for the last 3 years. And when the pandemic came, they have been shutting down this, people were shutting down. I have not missed a day through the pandemic, and when me and my wife, my kids, have no worries with, the different type of strands that are out there. And so we're saying she'll be bringing you some great information. And then we go right over to our brother Darryl. As you see, he brings musical guests, he brings artists, and they do a great job, great music, and you can definitely hear him every Wednesday from 5:30, every Wednesday. And then we go right over to on Friday from 3 to 4, we have our Pastor Wynn and Pastor Vin, and then we also have our top 10 musical countdown from 3 to 4 every Friday. From 3 to 4, we have the countdown. We have Pastor Vin, Pastor Taylor, and they come on, Pastor Wynn and Pastor Vin. They come on with Royal Radio, giving you some great information. And so we just thank God that, they are here and they come on with us. We have also our brother Boyd, Anthony Boyd, comes down with the top 10 countdown on Friday. And on Sunday, we're on WSNR, 620 on your AM dial. That's right. Every Sunday evening from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's 3 hours of nothing but fire. When I say fire, you have some of the top ministries, you have great music, and we have our Pastor Casper Staten, Elder Staten, putting down some great music. He's the master DJ, and I tell you, we love him, and we thank God for him. We thank God for all of you out there, all of you that are into the Christian Fellowship Council in some form or another, all of you that have donated, have given money, and that's right, you can donate if you would like to help keep us here on the radio and doing the things that we're doing. You can go right to $ our CFC, $OUR CFC, and you can donate there, or you can go right to CFCpage.com, the CFCpage.com, and that tells you a little bit more about us. Click on the donate button, and right there to walk you through, and all of your donations, your gifts are tax deductible. So we just want to thank you again for tuning in. I'll be back here on Friday at 3 o'clock. And we want to thank all of you. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Claudine. Take all of you.
Love
you.
welcome.
We'll see all of you Tuesday. No, Friday. This coming
Friday, Willie. We'll see you all Friday.
Yes. Hey, I'm gonna be all right.
God bless you, Willie.
Thank you. Love all of you. Take care now.
Love you too, man.
Okay, bye.
Bye.